Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. So today, big day, we are loading up and we're headed out to Moab at dark 30. So we're taking the KRX, we're gonna go out there, and I wanna do a quick video of my modifications. I want you to tell me in the comments below, is it an overlanding rig or is it just an off-road camping rig? And I'll explain that here in a second, but go ahead and put your comment down there and I'll tell you what I think I have at the end of the video. So if you haven't followed me on YouTube, you're just stopping by, go ahead and click that subscribe button if you don't mind. It really helps the channel out. It doesn't cost you a dime. So right behind me, we got the rig we're taking, a 2021 Kawasaki KRX 1000 in blue, of course. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at what I've added to it. Well, it's a factory accessory or an aftermarket accessory to how I think it's gonna work best for me while I'm in Moab. Now, KRX is really good in stock form. Really don't need to add anything except for maybe some skid plates, and I always recommend a winch, but that's my personal preference. So let's do a quick walk around. So skid plates, let's start right there. Skid plates. Yes, we have skid plates. We did the 1/2-inch trail armor skid plates. They bolted on super easy. I got a video on that. Go ahead and check it out if you're interested. While we're also down here, let's go ahead. Got tires. I got some 35-inch tall tires. Now these are the X-Comp ATRs. They're really only 34 inches, but you know what? They're doing really good. Now that's at 10 PSI right now, but we'll double check when we get there because the altitude. And then talk about some altitude, to get some height out of this thing, we went ahead and we replaced the stock tender springs with some All Things UTV springs right there. By replacing the stock tender springs with the All Things UTV springs, it went ahead and gave me back that ground clearance, because after 120 miles, the stock ones were sagging. I was down to about 12 inches, 10 inches of ground clearance, and it just wasn't acceptable. So by putting those on, it does ride better. I don't know how much better, but it does ride better, and it is holding the vehicle up. So we have that ground clearance, because remember, Moab, there's lots of traction out there, but you got to have the ground clearance to get over the rocks. So let's keep going. So body protection on the front and rear, went ahead and installed some HMF bumpers front and rear. We have the high mounts winch up front, and then we also have a Badlands 5,000-pound winch that we switched out with some synthetic rope from Amazon. And then I do have the OEM factory recovery point. That's one reason I like this bumper, is it's a winch mount, gets it up nice and high, but you get to keep a recovery point so you can put your hook on there, or you're not pulling on your winch, someone can pull you out right there, and it's a nice tie down point. Now before we move inside, let's go ahead and talk about the top. We went ahead and put just the cheapest roof I could find that was a single piece plastic roof. I don't actually remember the name of it, it's in a previous video, but it's a one-piece ABS plastic, so it should keep the sun off me. We'll see how durable it is after this trip. I also have like a $40 Amazon light bar up front, and then we got some knockoff eBay side view mirrors with dual lights right there. Walking around back, we got a couple PRP bags on either side. Now in one of these bags, this one right here, we keep recovery gear. On the other side, I have a jacket just in case it starts to rain. I also have a OEM spare tire carrier right here, and if you notice, there's not a spare tire on it. That is actually my tent. So I have a cot tent. Most of the other people I'm going with will sleep in those really fancy hammocks, but not me. I'm gonna sleep in a cot tent, and it fits perfectly in the OEM spare tire carrier. So yes, I am taking a spare tire, but no, I'm not taking it on the trail. I will be leaving it at the base camp, and we're gonna actually camp out on the trail probably 2, maybe 3 nights in a row before we head back to base camp, get cleaned up, showered, restock our fuel and food supplies, and then probably head out the next morning. Now back here is something I really like, the pack out plate from Pro Steel Products. It does the small and the large boxes, just not the large boxes with the metal handles on the side. So I have 2 boxes here. This one is with some tools and spare parts. This one is with some tire patch kits, small impact gun, and a couple other miscellaneous items. And then this is obviously a cooler. There's nothing currently in it, but I will be putting a bunch of frozen and cold waters in there. And then we will go ahead and we will strap down the tent. We have the homemade chase light with some backup lights there. And the nice thing with this tent is it will keep most of the sun off me. Now moving inside the KRX, not a lot has changed in there. but there is a couple differences from the last time I've shown it. So first thing you notice when I open this up, you have my gas can holder. So yes, gas is going to be inside with me. Now, I know some people are going to have an issue with that, but honestly, think about it. The OEM fuel tank is right underneath those gas tanks and underneath part of the driver's seat, and it's plastic. These are NATO gas cans, or NATO style gas cans, I should say, and they are bolted down and welded down to a frame, and it is actually on an OEM seat frame. I bought an extra frame and then mounted it with a second set of Warp 9 hardware. You can actually buy just the hardware without buying the rails from Warp 9. Now up here you can see I have a second cooler. It fits really well, and then a small air compressor. I'll probably switch that out for my little Milwaukee air compressor, but right now it's just there as a placeholder so I don't forget. So in this bag right here, I have my sleeping bag, and it is in one of my old military duffel bags. It has like a plastic waxy interior lining to keep the dust off, because out in Moab, just like Phoenix, it can get super dusty. And then I have a chair right here. Now up on the console, my iPad's obviously not in here, but we'll have the iPad going, and then all of us have comms right there. I have the Voss switch to run all of my lights, and then I have my headset right there. As you can see, I have the drone there. Hopefully we can get some good drone footage. I don't know, we'll see. I'm the only one right now that knows how to fly it, so guys, if you're watching, you have to learn how to fly it so we can get some cool footage. And then behind my seat, I will put a bag of clothes. And then up here, I have my small inflatable mattress. And then I will have another bag full of my food and snacks. So for food, we're pretty much gonna eat either myself as MREs, or a lot of these guys are gonna do freeze-dried foods. One of the few things I didn't show adding is this little digital pitch and roll meter that there is. And then you can kind of scroll through. It has satellite communications. You can use it as a second speedometer. Has the time and dates, and then you'll actually use it as you can have a second trip and whatnot. So that's kind of cool. We have the backup camera over there, which is working out great. And the only other things we've really added to this machine was a Turner drive shaft, just as a precautionary measure, with the Turner input shaft on the front differential. I've got some Super ATV front axles, just because they give you a little bit better articulation. I put the Brute Performance Heavy Hitter Kit, which is just your front A-arm tab supports, and I went ahead and put an all-access UTV shock brace kit on there. Is it really necessary? I don't know if that one's necessary, but I know I'm more comfortable with the Heavy Hitter kit on there. So other than that, that is the rig. That is how I set it up. For those of you wondering why I'm carrying fuel, well, like I said earlier, I need to have between 175 miles and 200 miles of range, because we plan on doing some extreme trails, some long distance trails, and again, we're going to camp on the trail at night. We're going to go up in the mountains, we're going to hit some of the dunes, and just do a lot of the different obstacles. Now, I said in the beginning, overlanding rig or just a 4x4 camping rig, well, it's a 4x4 camping rig in my eyes for one reason. The reason being is right back there. There's no spare tire. Now, if I was overlanding, you definitely want a spare tire. Now, for the off-road camping part, we have some inner tubes that we're bringing. We also have patch kits, so it'll get us back to camp. Worst case scenario, we send someone back to camp to pick up a tire. We shouldn't be more than an hour away at any given point, or have somebody bring us the tire. So as for spare parts, we're really not taking a bunch of spare parts. Moab is like the four-wheel drive mecca of the US. We all have a spare belt, a couple spare ball joints, a couple spare axles and tie rods, but other than that, really no spare parts, maybe an A-arm here or there for people who've replaced them. So let me know what you think in the comments below. How are we gonna do? I think it's gonna be a great trip. It's been years in the making. As you can see, the motorhome's behind me. It is ready to go. So the only thing I have left to do is load this up, edit the video, and I'm off to Moab. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and until next time.